This meeting of the Oak Park City Council is called to order. Please stand for the pledge. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. City Clerk Ed Norris, would you call the roll?
Mayor McClellan.
Here.
Mayor Pro Tem Burns.
Yes.
Councilmember Speech.
Here.
Councilmember Radner.
Here.
Councilmember Rich.
Here.
Everybody's here. Next, we have approval of the agenda, and council members, please look down at 7B, omit that item. Retha Richmond is still ill in the hospital and unable to attend, and we wish her speedy recovery. Second edition on the next page. It is under 15, the third page, City Manager section. Please add letter H. Purchase of tax foreclosed properties. There is a time crunch on that. Is there a motion to approve the agenda as amended?
So moved. Support.
Moved and supported. All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed?
No.
Motion carried. Next item is the consent agenda. These are routine items presented for approval as a group. Anyone on council can ask to have one removed and discussed. A, regular council meeting minutes of May 15th, 2017. B, Beautification Advisory Commission meeting minutes of April 18th. C, request to appoint Rocco Fortura as the representative and Kevin Yee as the alternate representative to the soccer board for the fiscal year beginning July 1st, 2017. D, Zoning Board of Appeals meeting, minutes of August 23rd. E, Recreation Advisory Board meeting minutes of May 17th. F, payment application number 1 for the 2017 Joint and Crack Ceiling Project M651, and licenses new and renewals as submitted for June 5th, 2017. Is there a motion to approve the consent agenda?
So moved.
Support.
Okay, moved by Mayor Pro Tem and supported by Member Speech. All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? That motion carries. I don't see elected officials out there to report, but we do have a wonderful special recognition. Lynn Master has been teaching children to read for 50 years. And we are honoring her service. And I said, "Are you retiring?" "Oh, no." So we're just starting her out on her second 50 years. So if Lynn would please come up and tell us a little something about your amazing clinic on Coolidge. And friends and family are invited. We'll invite them up for the photo op.
Thank you very much. I'd like to introduce Attorney Marcia Femright, who's here with me, long friend, and Sharon Smith, my business director, and Nia Corval, by way of Arizona, my granddaughter.
Whoa. The person who traveled the farthest to come to this meeting.
I'm very honored to be recognized by the city. I've been a part of the City of Oak Park in business for a long time, and I've seen many changes, all for the good. And it's a pleasure to continue to be working here. So I'm going to tell you a little bit about the Learning Disabilities Clinic. It is the first and only education clinic in the United States to be accredited. We have the same accreditation as the Oak Park Public School District, which means that we're able to provide course credit recovery and high school diploma and the kinds of things that some students need because they can't complete their diploma or their courses in a regular high school setting. We've also been recognized by Smart Money magazine, which is the magazine section of the Wall Street Journal, as we were recognized as one of the leading tutoring companies in the country. But we're not an ordinary tutoring company because we don't teach about the curriculum. We teach on a brain-based matter, a brain-based way of teaching students. We look at how the brain processes the information because these are students who don't learn in the ordinary way. We work with speech and language impaired, hearing and visual impairments, emotional impairments, processing problems, auditory and visual processing difficulties, and as the mayor said, we have been teaching reading for all of these years. I was originally a teacher in the Highland Park School District, working with the children who had the most difficulty learning, and then took my program to the private sector upon the recommendation of my graduate professor, who was the consulting psychologist to the Oak Park Public School District. His name was Walter Ambinder. And so I think that you would also be interested in knowing that we have gone through the process of being certified by the Women's Business Enterprise and Women's Small-Owned Business. So both of those certifications require a long process of being recognized, and we're proud to have that as well. Recently, we were recognized in the Jewish News with a full-page article about our business. And in 2014, we were the cover article for the annual report from the, I look to my business director, she knows more than I do, in a Michigan Protection and Advocacy Services, which protects children and adults from abuse. So thank you very much for having us here today and allowing me to tell you more about the Learning Disabilities Clinic. It is a pleasure to be here.
We are proud to have you in Oak Park. We'd like to invite you and your associates up for a photo opportunity.
Thank you. Oh, thank you very much. Here?
Next, we have a public hearing and approval of a request to split a parcel, 522532176025 Lessinger Park, into two parcels per the survey, contingent upon the final review and approval of the Oakland County Property Description Division. If you are here, we'll open a public hearing. If you are here to speak about Lessinger Park, please come up now. Anyone? Okay, seeing no one. Next, we would like to ask council to approve the request to split parcel 522532-176-025 Lessinger Park into two parcels per the survey, contingent upon the final review and approval of the Oakland County Property Description Division.
So moved.
Support.
Moved by Councilmember Speech and supported by Councilmember Radner. Any discussion or questions?
Just maybe want to remind people what it is.
Can City Manager Tungate, can you just explain what, why we're doing this?
I'm going to have Director Maroney come to the podium and give us an explanation, a re-explanation, if you will, right?
Yeah, we had come to City Council previously to approve us selling a portion of Lessinger Park to Michigan Dessert Company so they can expand their operations. We included this as part of our master plan as a split, and now we are going through the process of actually formalizing everything, and this is kind of the end of that process. The only other thing that needs to take place is a rezoning of the property, which will take place at the next Monday's Planning Commission meeting.
Wonderful. Any other questions? Question, Councilmember Speech.
Yeah, City Manager Tungate or Director Maroney, was there a final valuation of the property? I know they were going to, what was that?
Yeah, there was a final appraisal completed, and if you recall, one of the conditions that we set was that regardless of the valuation, that we would accept no less than $50,000. So that is the threshold, so it is
Okay.
$50,000.
Okay, thank you.
All right, thank you. Roll call, please.
Mayor Pro Tem Burns.
Yes.
Mayor McClellan.
Yes?
Councilmember Radner.
Yes.
Councilmember Rich.
Yes.
Councilmember Speech.
Yes.
Yep, unanimously approved. We have a request for item 10A. Janelle Smith submitted a request for a street closure on Meadowlark to hold a graduation party June 24th, 2017. Since it was a private party, she paid the $100 fee that you'll see on the last page, the application fee. So is there a motion to grant this request?
So moved.
Support.
Moved and supported, moved by Mayor Pro Tem, supported by Member Radner. Is there discussion or questions?
I have a question.
Yes.
The letters here that we have 1, 2, 3 letters. Are these the only 3 homes that are going to be affected?
I can answer that. That is correct.
Okay. Then I'm ready to vote.
Okay. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carried. 10B is another special event request and waiver of fee this time, submitted by the East Oak Park Neighborhood Association for their annual picnic to be held in Best Park on July 22nd, 2017. Is there a motion to approve the special event request?
So moved.
Support.
Councilmember Speech and Councilmember Radner. Discussion or questions? All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carried. There is a third special event. This one submitted by the Oak Park Recreation Department, 143000 Oak Park Boulevard, for Summerfest and the barbecue battle, something new that you haven't heard about yet, to be held at the Community Center parking lot and David H. Shepherd Park on July 27th, 2017. Since it is a city-sponsored event, there's a request for a fee waiver.
So moved.
Support.
Mayor Pro Tem moved and Member Speech seconded. Discussion or questions? Nope. All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carried. Item 11, accounting reports. This is approval, we're asking for approval for payment of an invoice submitted by Seacrest, Wardle, Lynch, Hampton, Truex, and Morley for legal services in the amount of $9,293.25. No. Is that correct? 2 zeros extra on this one? Are we paying them $9 million?
It's 9,000.
Okay. Cross off the last 2 zeros. Thank you.
I'm looking.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh, one more.
Councilmember Redner, any comment about paying the lawyers?
I think it's always a good idea to pay your lawyers.
Thank you. All right, we've got do we have a motion and a second?
So moved.
Support?
Member Radner and Mayor Pro Tem. Any discussion or questions? Roll call, please.
Mayor McClellan.
Yes.
Councilmember Radner.
Yes.
Councilmember Rich.
Yes.
Councilmember Speech.
Yes.
Mayor Pro Tem Burns.
Yes.
Okay, motion carried. Approval for payment of invoices submitted by Garen Luco Miller, PC, for legal services in the total amount of $13,881.45.
So moved.
Support?
Moved by Councilmember Speech, supported by Mayor Pro Tem. Discussion or questions? Roll call, please.
Councilmember Radner.
Yes.
Councilmember Rich.
Yes.
Councilmember Speech.
Yes.
Mayor Pro Tem Burns.
Yes.
Mayor McClellan.
Yes, unanimous, we're going to pay your bill. So 12A, this is request to award the bid for the 2017 janitorial services contract, M663, to H&K Janitorial Services Incorporated of Redford, Michigan, for the not-to-exceed amount of $150,000 annually. Is there a motion to award this bid?
So moved?
Support.
Okay, Mayor Pro Tem moved and Councilmember Speech supported. Is this, who can answer questions on this one? This is Assistant City Manager Kevin Yee.
Good evening.
Can you explain who's doing it now, and are we changing? And
Yes, currently Crystal Group is doing our janitorial services. We're looking at having H&K take over that service.
why are we switching?
It's been less than adequate, we'll just say.
Got it. Okay. And do we have people who are happy with H&K?
Yes, there's been a lot of references. They actually had glowing references, which I found over my 18 years of doing this, that it's very difficult to find a glowing janitorial service, and that's
Wow.
what I think we found here.
Okay. I'm lost now. Do we have a motion for this? Yes, we do. We have a motion and a second. Any questions? Discussion? Thank you so much.
Is there a motion in a second?
We have a motion and a second.
Has our attorney looked over the contract? I want to make sure we don't get sued.
I believe they've reviewed that the city attorney's office has reviewed the bid documents, which in part has a contract as part of it, but we will have them review it before, including insurance documents and things like that, before we actually sign the contract.
Okay.
Madam Mayor, if I may.
Councilmember Speech.
Just for the audience's benefit, in case some people remember us discussing janitorial before, we get information, and the audience gets an agenda, but we get a lot of information regarding the janitorial. And so some of the questions that the mayor was asking Director Yee regarding our previous contract, or our current contractor, we kind of already know the answers to, but for your benefit, we may ask the director to provide some background. And so that's what she was doing, and I'm going to ask a little bit more just for the benefit of the audience. I'm just giving some background, so you won't think I kind of know these answers, but I'm asking them anyway. But regarding the bidded amount from our current contractor, and then we said it's going to be up to $150,000 budgeted. What was the amount that they bid for?
The actual bid amount was $155,756. However, the bid amount had a lot of additional items in there that could be narrowed down. For instance, if we took away one window cleaning or one tile and grout cleaning, which we're doing 4 times a year. Same thing with carpet cleaning and strip and wax floors. Each of those items are itemized. We take away one of those, and we're about at $150,000 or less.
Okay, so the
we'll
current,
we'll do those as needed. We'll monitor what they look like.
so since we're not happy with the services that the current janitorial is providing, we're trying to change that, and we're going with the bidder that was next in line, and they didn't meet our budget, so we're going to make some changes
Correct.
and go with them.
Right. They're
Okay.
itemized
All
unit
fair and
prices, so we're not
transparent.
altering the bid. We're just removing an itemized unit, one itemized unit, which we can do.
Right, okay. So as far as legal, it's all legal. Thank you.
Thank you,
Those are
sir.
not breaching any contracts.
All right. We're ready to vote. Let's see.
Councilmember Rich,
Yes.
Councilmember Speech,
Yes.
Mayor Pro Tem Burns,
Yes.
Mayor McClellan,
Yes,
Councilmember Radner.
Yes.
motion carried.
you.
Thank you so much. We are amending 16 ordinances. A majority of them had to deal with redoing our boards and commissions. The city started out with 7 boards and commissions and is up to 22 boards and commissions. And it's a lot of meetings for our staff and for our council members, and some of the boards and commissions were having trouble getting enough members for quorum. So we have been through this long study process that led up to this, where the city clerk went through, spoke to the directors who came to the meetings and got their recommendations and talked to, a lot of study went into this before we decided to do these things. So after the first 6, the rest of them are all changing somehow a board or commission. So the first one is second reading and adoption of an ordinance to amend Article 4, Finance, Chapter 2, Administration of the Code of Ordinances of the City of Oak Park by amending Division 2 purchases thereof, thereby specifying competitive sealed bidding requirements for purchases in excess of $25,000, exceptions to competitive sealed bidding, process for sale or lease of real estate, and procedure for bids on city-owned personal property. Do we have a motion to approve the second reading and adoption? That's
Support.
Councilmember Speech, moved and supported by Mayor Pro Tem. Can we have just a brief overview of this one?
Good evening, Madam Mayor and Council. Again, this is a second reading of an amendment to the purchasing ordinance, and essentially this is just seeking to clarify our current processes for competitive sealed bidding requirements and setting forth the process for sales of real estate. Again, this is a second reading, and we recommend passing this ordinance this evening.
Thank you. Any questions? A roll call, please.
Councilmember Speech,
Yes.
Mayor Pro Tem Burns,
Yes.
Mayor McClellan,
Yes.
Councilmember Radner,
Yes.
Councilmember Rich.
Yep.
Okay, motion carried. Item B, 13B. First reading of an ordinance to amend Chapter 82, Utilities of the Code of Ordinances of the City of Oak Park, Michigan, by amending Section 82-313 thereof. Is there a motion to,
So moved.
Support.
moved by Mayor Pro Tem and supported by Councilmember Radner? Can you give us a short discussion of what this one is about? Mainly fees. Water rates?
These, Madam Mayor, these are the water rates that were approved during the budget process. This is the ordinance which memorializes those changes.
Those changes that were approved during our budget. Wonderful. Is there questions or discussion on this one? Roll call, please.
Mayor Pro Tem Burns,
Yes.
Mayor McClellan,
Yes.
Councilmember Radner,
Yes.
Councilmember Rich,
Yes.
Councilmember Speech.
Yes.
Motion carried. Item C, 13C, first reading of an ordinance to amend Chapter 62, Solid Waste of the Code of Ordinances of the City of Oak Park, Michigan by amending Section 6292 thereof.
So moved.
Support.
Moved and supported. This, again, was discussed during the budget hearings. Reflects any changes in fees. Roll call, please.
Mayor McClellan?
Yes.
Councilmember Radner?
Yes.
Councilmember Rich?
Yes.
Councilmember Speech?
Yes.
Mayor Pro Tem Burns?
Yes.
Motion carried. Item 13D is a first reading of an ordinance to amend Section 802, Special Land Use of Article 8, B2, General Business District, Section 901, Permitted Uses, and Section 902, Special Land Uses of Article 951, Light Industrial Districts, and Section 1917, Vehicle Dealers of Article 19, Special Land Uses, Appendix A, Zoning of the Code of Ordinances of the City of Oak Park, Michigan.
So moved.
Support.
Moved by Councilmember Speech, supported by Councilmember Radner. And this is commercial districts, lumber yards. Can we have, would you like to speak to that?
Madam Mayor, this is a recommendation from the Planning Commission. At their meeting held May 8, 2017, they conducted a public hearing regarding proposed changes to the zoning ordinance. The proposed text amendments to these districts create new regulations for Class A, B, and W vehicle dealers, and also modify the provisions for outdoor storage yards. I believe you have both the red line version of the ordinance and those text amendments included as well. City Council, the recommended action from the Planning Commission is to accept the recommendation for the first reading of these proposed ordinance amendments.
Okay, are there questions on this one?
So moved?
Support.
Moved and supported. We have a roll call, please.
Councilmember Radner?
Yes.
Councilmember Rich?
Yes.
Councilmember Speech?
Yes.
Mayor Pro Tem Burns?
Yes.
Mayor McClellan?
Yes. Motion carried. Item 13E, first reading of an ordinance to amend Section 1925, Outdoor Storage Yards of Article 19, Special Land Uses, Appendix A, Zoning of the Code of Ordinances of the City of Oak Park, Michigan. We need approval of the first reading.
So moved?
Support.
Moved by Mayor Pro Tem Burns and supported by Member Radner. And
This is the second ordinance amendment recommended by the Planning Commission. The first was with respect to the class vehicle licenses, and this is with respect to the outdoor storage units.
right. This is providing vegetation or screening so that it looks nice to everyone, and green belt where they, where storage yard abuts residential property. Okay, any discussion or questions? Roll call, please.
Councilmember Rich?
Yes.
Councilmember Speech?
Yes.
Mayor Pro Tem Burns?
Yes.
Mayor McClellan?
Yes,
Councilmember Radner?
Yes.
motion carried. The rest of these are changes to our boards and commissions to make them function better, to use everyone's time better. F is first reading of an ordinance to repeal Article 3, Boards and Commissions, Division 6, Cable Television Advisory Commission of Chapter 2, Administration of Code of Ordinances of the City of Oak Park, as the commission functions have been transitioned to the city's Community and Economic Development Department. Do we have a motion to approve the first reading?
So moved?
Support.
Mayor Pro Tem and Member Radner. So this was a Cable Television Advisory Commission that had a function at one time and no longer does, and I think it was renamed Communications Commission at a later time. We need those people in other places.
That is correct, Madam Mayor. The commission was originally entitled the Cable Commission. Later, it was subsequently renamed the Communications Commission, and at this time, all of those functions are incorporated into our new Community Economic Development Department, along with our Public Relations Director, who I don't see but was here earlier today. So again, this is a recommendation from administration to eliminate this commission, and in order to do so, you must pass the ordinance repealing the prior ordinance enacting it.
Got it. And everyone on the commission will be moved to another commission. We don't lose anybody. Are we ready to vote?
Yes.
Yes. Roll call, please.
Councilmember Speech,
Yes.
Mayor Pro Tem Burns,
Yes.
Mayor McClellan,
Yes.
Councilmember Radner,
Yes.
Councilmember Rich.
Yes.
Motion carried. Item G. First reading of an ordinance to repeal Article 2, Emergency Services Council of Chapter 34, Emergency Services of the Code of Ordinances of the City of Oak Park, as the council functions are now regulated by state and federal emergency management services.
So moved.
Support.
Moved by Councilmember Speech, supported by Councilmember Radner. Are there questions or discussion? Roll call, please.
Mayor Pro Tem Burns,
Yes.
Mayor McClellan,
Yes.
Councilmember Radner,
Yes.
Councilmember Rich,
Yes.
Councilmember Speech.
Yes.
Motion carried.
I have a question, point of order.
Yes.
I don't know if I'm the only one who wants to do this, but I'm just going to throw this out there.
Yes.
Are we allowed to make a motion on the remaining, I think, 9, since these are all very, very similar?
No.
We're not allowed to do that, it has to
They're
be one at a time.
individual
You
ordinances.
are not, because they're all individual ordinances, and you actually have 2 other repeal ordinances,
Okay.
and then enacting 2 new ordinances.
Alrighty.
Sorry, this is the most efficient manner we could do it.
Let's keep going.
All right. H, first reading of an ordinance to amend Article 5, Additional Boards and Commissions, Chapter 2, Administration of the Code of Ordinances of the City of Oak Park by amending Division 1, Recycling and Environmental Conservation Commission, Section 2602 thereof, thereby reducing the number of members on the Recycling and Environmental Conservation Commission, to allow us to have enough members to hold the meeting.
So moved.
Support.
Moved by Councilmember Speech, supported by Councilmember Radner. Discussion or questions?
Question? Well, I have a
Question?
question, but attendance or getting a quorum was
Right.
never an issue for the recycling committee. I just want to put that out there.
Oh, nice.
But it is in our best interest to combine the 2 committees.
Wonderful. Thank you.
I do have a question.
Question? Yes.
And for this one and any of the others that we either dissolve or combine, when are we, given that we already have the calendar for this year, when are we going to be enacting, I guess, so to speak, these? Is it for the remainder of this calendar year, or?
Yes, the ordinances, on their second reading, they will become effective 10 days after that reading.
Okay.
And my understanding is the intent to implement these changes immediately.
Okay.
You'll note in the ordinance language, many of the,
For,
so the ordinances that you are combining commissions or reducing the number, we are going to maintain the number until the expiration of their term. And then the requirement in the new ordinance is that no new members will be appointed until it reaches the number set by the ordinance passed today. Also, with respect, I think there are 2 boards that we're combining the 2, and you'll see in the new ordinance, we've selected the meeting dates. I don't want to say the wrong one, beautification. We selected one of the meeting dates of the 2, and the anticipation is going forward, all board members will meet on that meeting date of the combined meeting. And I think it's the Ethnic Advisory Commission, but it's all written
Yeah, I saw
in the
those.
ordinance.
I guess I'm chiefly speaking of the ones, like the Communications Emergency Services, and there was one other, that are dissolving. Do they, the mayor mentioned that they're going to have an opportunity to go to another board, but how are we going to?
My understanding, they will be contacted by the clerk's office. Neither of those boards have been meeting, which I think was one of the issues as well. So those members will be contacted and offered alternate positions. I do not know
Okay.
the exact procedure for that at this time.
Okay, thank you.
Where are we?
13I.
Aye.
13I. First reading of an ordinance to amend Article 3, Boards and Commissions, Chapter 2.
Madam Mayor, we need a vote on.
Oh, we need a vote.
H, please.
A vote on H. Okay. All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carried. I, first reading of an ordinance to amend Article 3, Boards and Commissions, Chapter 2, Administration of the Code of Ordinances of the City of Oak Park by amending Division 4, Beautification Advisory Commission, Section 2, 292 thereof, thereby reducing the number of members on the Beautification Advisory Commission by adding Section 2-302, thereby defining a quorum and a majority of the commission.
So moved.
Support.
Moved by Mayor Pro Tem, supported by Councilmember Speech. All those in favor?
Aye.
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 Motion carried. J, first reading of an ordinance to amend Article 3, Boards and Commissions, Chapter 2, Administration of the Code of Ordinances of the City of Oak Park by amending Division 8, Ethnic Advisory Commission thereof, to create the Arts and Cultural Diversity Commission, which combines the Ethnic Advisory Commission with the Arts and Cultural Commission to better serve our city. These are wonderful commissions doing fabulous work, and we value them highly. So we need approval of first reading.
So moved.
Support.
Moved by Mayor Pro Tem Burns, supported by Councilmember Radner. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? Motion carries. K. Resolution to rescind Resolution CM-9-S91-74 to dissolve the Oak Park Arts and Cultural Commission.
So moved.
Support.
Support.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Motion carried. So those are combined commissions now. We'll meet together and we'll come up with even more fabulous activities for the members of the residents in Oak Park. L, first reading of an ordinance to repeal Article 5, Additional Boards and Commissions, Division 2, Independence Day Commission of Chapter 2, Administration of the Code of Ordinances of the City of Oak Park, as the commission has been combined with the former Recreation Advisory Board to create the Parks and Recreation Commission.
Yeah.
So moved.
Support.
Moved by Member Speech, supported by Mayor Pro Tem. I'm assuming there's no discussion. All those in favor?
Aye.
Motion carried. M, first reading of an ordinance to repeal Article 2, Recreation Advisory Board of Chapter 54, Parks and Recreation of the Code of Ordinances of the City of Oak Park, as the board has been combined with the former Independence Day Commission to create the Parks and Recreation Commission. A motion to approve the first reading.
So moved.
Support.
Moved by Mayor Pro Tem Burns, supported by Councilmember Speech. All those in favor?
Aye.
Motion carried. M. Three more. N, first reading of an ordinance to amend Chapter 2, Administration, Article 3, Boards and Commissions by adding a new Division 3, Parks and Recreation Commission, which combines the former Recreation Advisory Board with the former Independence Day Commission. Motion
moved.
for this first reading.
So moved.
Mayor Pro Tem Burns, and seconded by Councilmember Speech. All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carried. O, resolution to rescind Resolution CM 6-245-60 and dissolve the Oak Park Municipal Building Authority, which, now that the building is built, we don't need anymore. Okay?
So moved.
Moved
Support.
by Councilmember Speech, supported by Councilmember Radner. All those in favor?
Aye.
Passed unanimously. Last, First reading of an ordinance to amend Article 3, Boards and Commissions, Chapter 2, Administration of the Code of Ordinances of the City of Oak Park by amending Division 1 generally, Section 2-244 thereof, thereby identifying the boards and commissions subject to the terms set forth in the ordinance.
So moved.
Support?
Moved by Councilmember Speech, supported by Mayor Pro Tem Burns. All those in favor?
Aye.
Passed unanimously, and we have done it. So, lots of work by members of the staff and the
Yes.
legal department.
Thank you so much.
Thank you very, very much. And the city clerk's office
Yes.
worked a lot on how best to do this to make the boards and commissions function as well as we can. So thank you to all for your patience, and we'll start with the city manager for portion of this. City Manager Tungate.
Thank you, Madam Mayor, members of council. I'd like to ask our Human Resources Director, Vicki Brooks, to join me at the podium for 15A through C. And council members, these are the tentative agreements for 3 of the 4 bargaining units here at the city, beginning with 15A, the POAM dispatch unit. And I believe we're going to have these approved individually, correct? Do you want to add anything, Director Brooks?
No.
I don't think she has anything to add.
Oh.
Do you have it in front of you if you have questions that we can answer on each of these as we move through?
I think in the previous meeting, it was mentioned that we are increasing donations to the pension board. Is that correct?
For some of them, yes.
Yes. Can you explain?
For the police officers, Labor Council, those are our command officers. We are increasing their contribution by 1.5% July 1st, and then another 1% July 1st, 2018. And then for the dispatchers, we're also increasing their contribution, and but it is at a lesser amount. And then the TPOAM, their pension contribution is remaining the same.
Thank you. Thank you.
Madam Mayor, if I could add to, one of the other things that's fluid throughout each of the 3 tentative agreements you have in front of you is that we were able to get the vesting period for the defined contribution plan employees changed. And that, in the first one here, 15A, for employees hired after July 1st, 2017, they would not be fully vested until after 5 years in the defined contribution plan. Right now, that vesting schedule is that after 1 year, they are 100% vested.
Okay, we will approve these tentative agreements individually. So, A, we need a motion to approve the dispatch unit, POAM,
So moved?
moved
Support.
by Mayor Pro Tem Burns, supported by Councilmember Radner. Discussion or questions?
Yes, Madam Mayor.
Yes, that's,
Question for Mr. Tungate. The tentative agreement, when you crunch the numbers, it fits within your budget for the next 3 years?
And 15A and B and C, yes, they do fit within our budget. We did project out that we would be providing an increase of this kind. And I just want to remind you that the 3% increase is, as we did a study, is about what market is currently for employees and municipal governments around us comparatively.
any further questions? Councilmember Speech?
Just a curiosity about the uniform allowance. What was it prior?
That's a great question. I'm going to defer to Director Brooks.
The uniform allowance for which,
For the dispatch, I'm sorry.
It's increasing to $650, Director Brooks.
it was for 95.
Okay.
Price of uniforms going up. Price of
Yes.
uniforms?
Absolutely.
Price of everything's going up.
Well, I can imagine that the 1 year vesting is going to attract some people to Oak Park. Is that right, City Manager?
Well, just for clarification, we are, in the defined contribution plan, if that's what you're referring to, we are eliminating the one-year vesting for
Oh, we
people
are.
hired after July 1st, 2017.
Oh.
And that they would be 50% vested after 3 years and 100% after 5. So
I
there
see.
will be city savings associated with that, because again, right now, we have a 1-year vesting period, so you're 100% vested at 1 year.
Okay,
This is not the pension system, this is the defined
Defined.
contribution system.
okay, thank you.
Any further questions? We ready for a vote? Should this be a roll call?
Councilmember Radner.
Yes.
Councilmember Rich.
Yes.
Councilmember Speech.
Yes.
Mayor Pro Tem Burns.
Yes.
Mayor McClellan.
Yes. We have,
Okay, and then 15B, same drill. This is the Police Officers Labor Council. These are the command officers in our Public Safety Department. Very similar to some of the changes you just saw in the dispatchers agreement, with the exception of number 5, which, as Director Brooks pointed out, there are increases, employee pension contribution increases, and we're very happy to get those because, as you know, the command officers participate in the public safety retirement system that is right around 60% or so funded at this time.
and can you speak to why Article 6 was deleted?
I'm going to defer to Director Brooks on that one.
One shift rotation on the night shift.
I believe that the director felt that eliminating this would give him more latitude in assigning officers on shifts.
Got it. Thank you. We have a motion?
Do we have a motion?
No.
So
Okay.
moved.
Support.
Who made the motion?
Keisha.
Okay. Councilmember Speech made the motion. Councilmember Radner supported. Discussion or questions? Roll call, please.
Councilmember Rich.
Yes.
Councilmember Speech.
Yes.
Mayor Pro Tem Burns.
Yes.
Mayor McClellan.
Yes.
Councilmember Radner.
Yes.
Motion carried.
And 15C, this is our TPOAM union, and this is the former AFSCME union. Very similar. The number 3 is a little bit different in terms of the 750 versus 1,000. And here again, if you look at number 4, you see that the defined contribution vesting period has changed. And then in 4B, the contribution amount will be changing as well, which again, to the labor attorney's comments in his memo, contributes to a more well-funded, hopefully, more well-funded retirement system. And these are the employees, if they're in the pension system, this is the general retirement pension system, not the public safety one. If you want to add anything, Director Brooks?
No.
Thank you. Do we have a motion? No.
Make a motion.
Motion by Councilmember Speech,
Support.
support by Councilmember Radner. Discussion or questions? Roll call, please.
Councilmember Speech.
Yes. Yes.
Mayor Pro Tem Burns.
Yes.
Mayor McClellan.
Yes.
Councilmember Radner.
Yes.
Councilmember Rich.
Yes.
Motion carried.
Okay, and then we have 15D, which is a resolution to receive the Deputy Finance Director's report and authorize and direct the city assessor to prepare a special assessment roll assessing unpaid charges to the assessment district for replacement of lead water service lines. And just for a reminder and clarification, council members, this was the voluntary service that we provided for the private lines in the city. And not everybody that we sought decided to participate. So of the ones that did, these are the bills for that. And of course, in order to bill for those, we're going to send those to the special assessment rolls.
Okay, we
So
need
moved.
a resolution to receive.
So moved. Support.
Moved by Mayor Pro Tem Burns, supported by Councilmember Radner.
I have a question.
Question?
In theory, if somebody were to sell their home, who would pay the balance?
I believe it goes with the property, because it's a special assessment, so
Okay. That's what I
regardless,
figured.
it would then be a lien on the property as it is sold and moves forward.
All right. Thank you.
Okay, roll call, please.
Mayor Pro Tem Burns.
Yes.
Mayor McClellan.
Yes.
Councilmember Radner.
Yes.
Councilmember Rich.
Yes.
Councilmember Speech.
Yes.
Motion carried.
Okay, and then 15E is actually setting the two properties that would be participating in the special assessment role.
So moved?
Support.
Moved by Mayor Pro Tem, support by Councilmember Radner. Okay, discussion or questions? Roll call, please.
Mayor McClellan.
Yes.
Councilmember Radner.
Yes.
Councilmember Rich.
Yes.
Councilmember Speech.
Yes.
Mayor Pro Tem Burns.
Yes.
Motion carried.
And then lastly, 15F confirms the special assessment. Resolution number 9, to confirm the role. Special assessment resolution number 10, establishing that the role is payable on the summer property tax bill in equal installments to be spread over 10 years without interest.
Motion.
So moved?
Support.
Mayor Pro Tem Burns made the motion, supported by Councilmember Speech. Discussion or questions?
I do have a question, Madam Mayor. City Manager Tungate, I know you said there these two properties. Was there a time, a deadline for anyone else opting into this? I can't remember what the deadline is. Was it June?
In terms of opting into the
Mhm.
program or not, I believe
Special
we did set a
assessment.
deadline. I'd have to defer to Director Barrett on the actual details of that.
Okay.
Again, it was a voluntary program
Yeah.
and just a special service that City Council allowed us to offer.
So, and the reason I'm asking the question is, once this special assessment, we set this up, just the prospect of any more coming, and then as Councilman Radner said, if someone sells their property, what are we looking at as far as how far along it would be before we got paid back? Yes,
Good evening, Mayor, Council, City Manager Tungate.
right.
The answer to your question is, yeah, the option's still available. Deputy Director DeCosta did meet with the 9 known lead services, and only 2 took advantage of it, but we do have the funding available to perform the service this year if somebody decides to opt into it.
Okay, so there's not I thought we had a set date. We didn't have a set date for them
I
to
don't-
opt in?
Yeah,
It's within the
No.
budget year.
Oh, okay,
I
gotcha.
don't think we have a set date.
I want to, if I could, just clarify, I don't want to, when we say lead service lines, I think water lines, people immediately get their feathers up. And I want to just clarify that we are not talking about the city's water lines. We are talking about private residents, their water lines that run from the city's infrastructure to their homes. And even though some of those have been defined as being made of lead, it doesn't mean the drinking water is unsafe, because, of course, the water quality report details that we have very high-quality water. We have an additive that's placed into the water system that protects against any leakage. So I wanted to clarify that. I don't want
Thank
people
you.
to get worried.
Right. Thank you.
Are we ready for a vote?
Yep.
Yep.
Councilmember Radner.
Yes.
Councilmember Rich.
Yes.
Councilmember Speech.
Yes.
Mayor Pro Tem Burns.
Yes.
Mayor McClellan.
Yes. Motion carried.
Okay, 15G, council members, resolution of the City Council authorizing the application for Beer Festival special license for the City of Oak Park Summerfest on July 29th, 2017. We have Director Stasiak here to explain.
Good evening, Mayor, Mayor Pro Tem, council members, and City Manager Tungate. I'm here to ask for a resolution of City Council authorizing the application for Beer Festival special license for the City of Oak Park Summerfest on July 29th, 2017. And if I could, just talk a little bit about the Summerfest and what we're planning. Oak Park will be the place to be on July 29th, 2017. The day's events will draw not only our Oak Park residents, but people from all the surrounding communities as well. The event will run from 11 a.m. to 8:30 p.m. The day will have several high-energy new components that have been added to the event. The first component is the Oak Park will host the 7th annual barbecue battle that is being presented by Oakland County Parks. This battle is a highly sought-after amateur rib cook-off. So we have amateur rib barbecuers that come in from all over the state. This is the 7th year for this barbecue battle. Both Marilee Roseman, my recreation coordinator, as well as myself, has been involved in this competition for the last 6 years at our previous jobs. So we're all in tune with the barbecue competition. That's one component. The second component is the Oak Park Kids Zone. So we will be hosting a variety of free kids activities. We will be hosting the National Kidney Foundation. Oak Park Library will have a craft there. Home Depot Kids Workshop. Oakland County Parks will have 4 inflatables plus their climbing tower. Red Oaks Nature Center will be there with a display and a naturalist. Cranbrook Bat Conservancy will be there, as well as the Michigan Butterfly Farm. And we're still adding different vendors to that kid zone. Another component will be the Oak Park Mini Pub. This will be a truly entertaining ambience for not only the barbecue competition, but also people coming to the area and to the Summer Fest. It runs from 11 a.m. to 8:30 p.m. We'll have music there. We have a DJ as well as a couple of bands. Larry Lee and the Back in the Day Band will be there. They play some Motown and some funk. And it's regular get up and dance type music. The Oakland County concert stage will be there. It's a family friendly environment. So everybody is invited into the mini pub tent to sit down and enjoy the festivities, the music, as well as talk to the barbecue competitors and ask them if they would give up some of their secret recipes. So we'll have some tables and chairs there for the music and entertainment. The whole family is invited into the mini pub. However, you have to be 21 in order to get beer or wine. Any questions that you might have for me?
You gotta be 21 to drink? How did that happen?
Yeah, so that means you can't.
I turn 21 next week.
This sounds remarkable. Every time I think you can't add something else, you find something else fun to add.
Oh, well, thank you.
Y'all come. Where are we now? H. Nope, you need your tax foreclosed properties.
We vote.
Yeah, okay.
No need to vote.
So we need to approve the application.
So moved?
Support.
Moved by Mayor Pro Tem, supported by Councilmember Radner, to approve the application for the beer license for this festival. Any discussion or questions? All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? No. Woo-hoo.
Thank you very much.
Thank
Thank you, Director.
Nice job.
15H is the additional item that council added to the agenda. Director Maroney is here. I know we received a list of tax foreclosed properties today from our county treasurer. Could you please explain?
Yeah, I apologize for adding this to the agenda at the last minute. We did receive this earlier than anticipated from the county. This morning, we received a list of the tax foreclosed properties, and we have till this Friday, June 9th, to reply on our right of first refusal. So in front of you, there are 20 properties. We recommend city purchasing 17 of those 20. And we will get the answer back to, we'll pass the resolution tonight and get the answer back to the county treasurer by the requested date of June 9th. We are not recommending 3 of the parcels to purchase. One is a vacant lot, which is not buildable. It is next to the I-696 freeway. It looks like we may have given it to the adjacent property owner at some time. It's just maybe 20 foot in width. So there's really nothing we can do with it. Eventually, it'll probably come back to the city at no cost, so why purchase it? And then the other 2 are part of an apartment complex that currently has some management issues, and we don't think it would be in our best interest to purchase those at this time. Part of the process will be selecting a company, as we have in the past, like Global Realty, to take these properties from us, rehab them, and sell them to owner occupants.
So, Director, the money that we would put up for the purchase of these properties in tax sale would be essentially a wash per the agreement with whomever we select?
Correct. Yeah, as in the past, we purchased the properties and did a simultaneous close the same day with the company we select, and not only do we get the exact amount that we've spent on the properties, but we also get an administration fee as well, which covers our staff expense in the process.
Madam Mayor,
Councilmember Rich.
just a point of order. I think we need a motion so that we can continue to discuss.
Yes.
I will bring the motion to approve the purchase of these properties.
Moved by Ken Rich,
Support.
supported by Councilmember Radner. In the past, we didn't do this, right? So the negative thing that happened to the city was that out-of-town people from California bought 20 houses in Oak Park, slapped a coat of paint on them, and then rented them out. And so we saw our properties go down in condition and value, right. And we came across what I think is a brilliant idea to stop that from happening. So we take the foreclosed properties, and the company that we pick has to take all of them, the good, the bad, and the ugly, all, not just cherry picking the best ones. So all of them get renovated. If they need new roof, they need new furnace, if they need new kitchen or bathroom, all of this is done. If they need the basement fixed from the flood damage, that gets done. So they spend between $30,000 and $60,000 on these homes in addition to the price that they pay. And we insist that they are sold to a resident and not used as rental property. So that brings more owners into Oak Park, better homes into Oak Park. This seems to be just a win-win situation for everybody. So, were there other questions or discussion? Roll call, please.
Councilmember Speech.
Yes.
Mayor Pro Tem Burns.
Yes.
Mayor McClellan.
Yes,
Councilmember Radner.
Yes.
Councilmember Rich.
Yes.
motion carried.
Council members, I have, I don't believe that's on here, is it? Oh, did I? Okay, so there's the resolution to sell the properties as well, council members, under the same agenda item here.
Okay.
And
Madam Mayor, I'll make the motion to allow the city manager to engage in the sale of those properties.
Okay,
Support.
moved by Councilmember Ken Rich, support by Councilmember Radner. Okay, a discussion or questions?
Just the only discussion, if I can retroactively discuss it, I presume that the city manager, since there's a deadline to purchase these by June 9, that somebody will be hand-delivering the city's response tomorrow to the county clerk.
without question.
Ready to vote, I am.
Ready for a vote. Thank you.
Mayor Pro Tem Burns.
Yes.
Mayor McClellan.
Yes,
Councilmember Radner.
Yes.
Councilmember Rich.
Yep.
Councilmember Speech.
Yes.
motion carried.
Council members, I have one more item before I finish the city manager report. I would like to take an opportunity to introduce Lisa Vecchio, and Lisa is here. Lisa is our new deputy city clerk and director of elections, and we were fortunate enough to be able to take her from the city of Berkeley, where she was prior to coming here. So we're very excited about her joining our management team. So welcome. Thank you. Mr. City Clerk, do you want to add anything to that, or Lisa, do you want to
I
add?
just would like to add that I'm very glad, too, that she's here. Welcome.
That's some great help.
Welcome to Oak Park.
Welcome.
We're delighted, just delighted.
Madam Mayor, members of council, that completes the city manager report for this evening. Thank you.
Thank you. Call to the audience. If you would like to speak, please give us your name and address and limit your comments to 3 minutes.
I'll speak first, thank you. My name is Tim Carr, 48910 Ford Road, Canton, Michigan, and I am president of Carr's Outdoor Services. I have been in business for 41 years. My company was awarded and completed the joint sealing program contracted by the City of Oak Park, some $20,000 under your budget and a couple hundred under the contract price. I'm here tonight to just discuss with you or to inform you of how the City of Oak Park has harmed my company in regards to this contract. Before we started the contract in April, we had a pre-construction meeting where we met with engineers, and they tell us what streets to do and what order they're going to be completed, and we follow the instructions. We exchange phone numbers so that if there's a problem, they can call me anytime. We accomplish the goal of taking care of your streets. I was told by the engineering department, and I have an email to that effect, that council meeting meets the first of the month. They will pass that, our check will come, and it'll be mailed. The next week after your council meeting, on the 15th, I called the engineering department, and they said they had done some of the paperwork. I called finance. Finance had no paperwork. So this put Carr's kind of in a place of what are we going to do. Shortly after that, I had an assistant engineer, Mr. Searles, call me, said he was sorry, but he did not do his job. He was new at it, and I was not going to get paid. This put Carr's in a bind because we put the money into your streets. We were told that it would be that first time. I was also told that it's an implied, these contracts are very specific, that it's an implied 30 days, and that cities do not do that. Well, I can show you here 2 of your neighboring cities that we've done after. City of Southfield, invoice 515, paid 522. So what happens when you rely on a paycheck, because all there is trust between me as a contractor and the city. If I fail in my duties as a contractor in your city, it's heavy. I pay $320 a day for inspection fees, and I have to buy bonds, which cost me $1,600. If this was vice versa, and I was late as a City of Oak Park, as of today, I'd be paying $7,040. That's all the time I have.
Right, yeah, thank you. Thank you for coming. Okay. Would you meet with the city manager?
We've already talked, we're good.
Got it. Thank you. Anyone else?
Thank you. I know I have only 3 minutes, so I wrote my comments down,
Good.
so I'll be reading.
Good.
So I think everyone can agree that
Oh,
Oak Park
give us
has-
your name and
Oh,
address.
I'm
to
sorry.
start. Sure.
My name is Karen Yaldu. I live at 24411 Roanoke Avenue in Oak Park. But I wanted to talk about the feral cat problem in the city. The city's response so far has been wholly ineffective. Animal control has been unresponsive to this issue, while the problem has continued to multiply exponentially. After living in the city for almost 50 years, I recently decided to take matters into my own hands. I became proactive and began to address this issue in my area. With the help of a trap, neuter, release volunteer, we trapped 7 feral cats in my neighborhood, 3 females and 4 males. This process began back in January, and I have been managing and keeping an eye on this colony ever since. In this time, I have not seen any additional cats, any new litters. My garbage is no longer strewn about, and best of all, no more rodent sightings, since this is a big issue because I live right next to Best Park. And for those of you who have visited Best Park, there are dog owners that don't always clean up after their dog, which then brings in the rodents. The reward for my taking these proactive measures and in turn conserving city resources is that I have now received multiple notices from code enforcement notifying me that I am creating a nuisance by feeding this colony, and if I continue, I will receive a citation, incur cleanup costs, or both. Conversely, if I don't continue maintaining this colony, I will no longer be able to identify new cats in the area in order to have them neutered. New litters will begin to appear again. My garbage will once again be strewn about, and the rodent population will once again be an issue. This not only will create a nuisance for me and my neighbors, but it will perpetuate the cycle of feral cats. When asked how the city intends to address the nuisances they want to force upon me, code enforcement had no answers for me. Code 38-52 simply states, "It shall be unlawful for any person to commit, create, or maintain any public nuisance within the city." This is extremely vague, and in this scenario can mean something as simple as my neighbor not happy with a cat walking across my backyard. Instead of harassing those of us who maintain these colonies with our own resources and in turn quietly help out our neighborhoods and the city as a whole, I would respectfully ask that in the short term, the city educate employees and residents that maintaining colonies of TNR cats is a benefit to the community because it controls the feral cat population, and in the long term, adopt an ongoing TNR program instead of the reactionary methods that have been taken.
You're doing great. Just
I'm
finish
sorry.
up. Yep.
So in addition, what I'd like to see now, and I kind of spoke a little bit about it, I would love to see that code amended to make an exception for cats that have been TNR'd, because they really truly are helping with our rat population, which will only get worse once restaurants start moving into the area.
Thank you for educating us all, and
Thank you.
should she speak to Dr.
Well,
Barrett?
somebody will follow up with her.
Rob Barrett will, Director Barrett will follow up with you. Make sure he has your contact information.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Joyce Bannon, 10611 Troy. I know I have 3 minutes. I'm going to make it as fast as I can. Jefferson Oaks now has been vacant for 2 years with no tax income. No construction's been started over there. I go by it every day, and I don't know what's going on over there, nor do I care. Okay, now, where is the beer tent going to be held? Is that going to be held in the park or in the parking lot? Because there should be no alcohol in the park itself. There's signs posting saying.
Parking lot.
In the parking lot, okay, thank you. Okay, who and where are the lead water replacements going to be taking place at?
Replacements of what?
The lead water lines. Do you have to,
Speak to Kevin Yee after the
Okay.
meeting.
okay. Contracts for the employees, how long is the contract for? Is that 3 years, 5 years? 3 years? Okay, because I didn't hear that. Cleaning, for the contract for the cleaning, which buildings? Is it just for this building, or is it for all the buildings?
All the bills.
All the buildings? Okay. Last of all, we have 2 law offices. I agree to pay the lawyers what they're needed, but 2 law offices? We've got 2 bills here for 2 different law offices. I thought we got rid of Schiffman to go with 1, and now I keep seeing 2 different law offices.
No.
Lots and lots of litigation we have to deal with.
Point of order, Madam Mayor.
Yes.
Is this really question and
No,
answer?
it's not question and answer. You're supposed to
Right.
like just talk for 3
Right,
minutes.
well,
so-
that was a question.
But thank you.
Okay, thank you.
Any anything further. Anyone else? Nope. I understand that our communications department has a couple pictures from a wonderful event that we held, the pop-up park. Yeah, apparently you can bike over. You can hug a police officer, Officer Benson.
He's here to be.
If you wait a minute, you can also get a free ice cream cone from him. There was building using, there was a carpeted area. There was a grand opening of the new realtor, Real Team Real Estate, with lots of excited people. They were real good to us. Right next door to them is the Pocket Park, and they said the magic words to the mayor. They said, we'd be happy to sponsor some of your events. So right away, I don't know if you noticed the picnic tables there, but Rocco and his crew at DPW built them out of, pallets? Wood pallets. They, there's a creative use of that. Our city manager was there. Our DJ, we had a DJ playing. This was an amazing event. Is that Channel 4? Channel 4 News? We were famous for something fabulous. We closed off that street. This is a Sherman at 9 Mile pop-up park. The residents decided what they would like up there. They came up with some ideas for some exercise classes and some jewelry sales and a whole bunch of things for the entire month. I'm hoping that an email goes out tonight telling everybody what's up for tomorrow. I know a whole list went out, but we need reminding of all the fun things that we can come and see there. It was heartwarming. They have a book about all of these pop-up events that cities can hold, and I thought someday I'd like that for Oak Park, and someday came and we have that for Oak Park, and it was just a wonderful time, community gathering together, free food, free entertainment. It was heartwarming. So that was one wonderful thing. 5 years ago, or 6 years ago, Home Renewal Systems owner recommended that the City of Oak Park contact realtors and tell them about all the wonderful events that were happening. And 5 years ago or 6 years ago, there weren't a whole bunch of wonderful events happening for us to contact the realtors with. And now we've got them coming fast and furious, and it is just a joy. Also, yesterday, Oak Park Baptist Community Fun Day was held. Oak Park Baptist Church had an event open to all. If you know somebody who needs clothing, they have a clothing sale for free there. They do basketball for the kids. They had water events. They had, again, Officer Benson does not miss a party, so he was there giving away ice cream to all the kids. And the fire truck was there, and kids got to go up on there and ring the bell, and they just had the best old time. Thanks very much to Pastor Reynolds and his group over there. Mayor Pro Tem?
Hello, everyone. Just wanted to say thank you, especially to Crystal, Elizabeth King, Kim Maroney, for all your hard work during the pop-up park. Also, on Thursday, May the 25th, I had the pleasure to attend the Oak Park Instrumental Music Department Spring Concert, which happened to be the evolution of Michael Jackson. A lot of the schools within Oak Park participated. Key Elementary Band. We had Pepper Elementary Choir, their band. We had Einstein Elementary Band.
Start over.
There it is. No, I'm not going to start over. But I was just saying that I had the opportunity to attend the Oak Park Instrumental Music Department Spring Concert, which included all the schools in Oak Park, the Oak Park Auxiliary School, the Oak Park High School, the Voices of Inspiration. They had a live band. It had several choirs from all of the different schools. It started at 6 o'clock, and it went until 8:30, and it was at the Oak Park High School. I was extremely proud and happy to be there. Our children did a wonderful job, so I just wanted to say kudos to them, and I hope that I'm invited back next year. Everyone, please be safe. The weather is changing, and the days are getting longer. Please adjust your lights accordingly and dress for the weather. Thank you.
Councilmember Radner.
You know, with Mayor Pro Tem sunglasses indoors, I thought we were about to hear an R&B performance. I guess it was just an eye doctor performance. Thank you all for coming out. Have a lovely evening.
Well, May 22nd, we welcomed Hatzalah to the facilities next door with the ribbon cutting. Our own Councilmember Radner is one of the volunteers. It was a wonderful event here at City Hall with a huge number of community members that came out. And so I just wanted to welcome the Hatzalah over next door, and also to thank everyone for coming out to that. And then also encourage everyone to look at the calendar. I always say that, but I really mean it. There's a lot of wonderful things going on in Oak Park, and not the least of which is the activities that are on the calendar, and then also some of the community groups that are just doing outstanding things, and more keeps getting added. So certainly keep a lookout, and have a nice week.
Councilmember Kenrich.
Good night.
Thank you. There being no further business to come before this council, this meeting is adjourned.